Hey there everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here with the ThermOWeb design team and I have a new layout to share today, and I've used lots of different ThermOWeb products. So I've done a little bit of prep work here on my Cameo. I'm going to use some of the Gina Designs premium cardstock in white. And today on the ThermOWeb blog, we're celebrating Bikini Day, and so I'm going to create a swimsuit style of a layout. And of course I'm going to use some of the Deco foils in these three beautiful colors, and some of the Gina Designs fancy foils, and some of the transfer gel. I know I used this last time and it turns out so great. I wanted to use it again and show you guys what fun things you can do with it. And I'm going to be using two pictures of my daughter in the pool. Now, I had a tough time. I got a brand new silhouette cutting mat and a brand new blade, and this Gina cardstock is awesome. It's very thick and I did not turn my blade up high enough, and so it cut, but it didn't cut all the way through, so I had to go through and kind of help it out with some scissors, but that was pretty easy to do. So what I did was I went through the Silhouette Design store and I found these really cute swimsuits, and I cut them on the white cardstock. I got a bikini and two one pieces, and I designed this fun little clothesline, and my idea is to have the swimsuits hanging from the clothesline and then my pictures also hanging from the clothesline, kind of in between the swimsuits. And I thought that that would be a cute design element. And there's also some little flowers that came with some of the swimsuits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat all of these with the transfer gel. Now this is going to get a little messy, and that's okay. I like getting messy. So this it's messy, but it's really not that messy, honestly. I'm just using a palette knife here and just scraping some of it over onto the cardstock. And once it dries, you don't want it to be wet to do this right here. Let it dry, and it dries clear. You're going to take your foil and put the tacky side down, and you don't want to waste it, so cut around your shape, and you want to make sure you get your laminator nice and hot and ready to go. And then you're just going to slide the whole thing in between some parchment paper and then run it through your laminator, and it's like magic. I'm going to speed this up. It goes very slow so it can heat it up. I sped this up quite a bit just for the sake of time. And then when you remove it and you peel the foil away, it magically sticks to wherever you put the transfer gel. Look how pretty that is. And sometimes I like that it's not completely perfect, you know, because I used a palette knife, and so some of the areas may not have gotten covered completely, but I like it that way. I love a distressed look, and I think it looks really, really pretty. So the pink that I used was one of the Gina Designs fancy foils, and it's in Passionate Pink. This is one of the Deco Foil Transfer Sheets in Lime, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Speed it up, and once the heat from the laminator heats it up and you peel away the sheet, you get this gorgeous foil design. And there's so many ways to do this. Last month I did this on a sheet of stars that I used with a stencil. So this was just, it's really easy to do. It's super fun. I used the teal on the bikini, and then on my little clothesline here I accidentally left a spot open, and I'm going to show you how to fix that. And this is an odd shape because it's long and skinny. So what to do here, I've got a spot that's not covered. Okay, so a lot of people say, hey, I don't have a laminator, can I use this stuff without a laminator? Absolutely. This is the liquid adhesive, and all I'm doing is covering up the spot, and you could cover anything with this. Let it dry. See, I can touch it and it feels kind of tacky and sticky, but it's dry. Then you're going to take your foil, and this is champagne. It's a really pretty light gold color. Stick it right on top of where you just put that adhesive and very firmly rub your finger over it. You could also use something like your palette knife to rub it over, but you don't really, your finger will work just fine. And when you peel it back, it's stuck to it. So you do not have to have a laminator to use this adhesive. You do need a laminator for the transfer gel. So there are two different products, and clearly you can use the foil without the transfer gel. But you do have to let it dry, both of them, in order for the foil to stick. Okay, so I've got all my little swimsuits and my clothesline and my little flowers. So I'm going to start to play with the design of everything. And I don't really have anything else picked out at this minute. I'm just kind of playing around with what I have. I'm going to use some clear gesso on some white cardstock here, and then just sort of start with some sprays to create my background. When I have a white background like this, I love to do a mixed media background using different color ink sprays and watercolors. These are two different shades of golden yellow colors. And when I make a summer page, I love to have yellows and turquoise colors and some pinks, just to add to the whole summer brightness, the color scheme. And so I'm going to kind of zoom through this because it's, it took me a while to do this. I'm pretty picky when it comes to my backgrounds, so it did take me a little while. So I sped this up quite a bit, and I'm just using the packaging technique. I'm using a brush. I'm using the nozzles to splatter. I want to kind of have a little bit of a sky, a little bit of a sunny area at this point. And this layout just kind of, there's a lot going on, and took me a while to do it all. Mainly because of drying time. It does take the adhesive and the transfer gel time to dry. Okay, so I went through my cut files. I knew I wanted some clouds up in my sky, and this is a cloud cut file from the cut shop, and I just cut it on some white cardstock, and it's just going to be a design element. I'm not going to add any foil to it or anything. So I'm going to replace everything like I think I want it on top of what I have so far on my background. This is also a ThermOWeb product. This is the, what is this called before I say the wrong name? iCraft Mixed Media Adhesive, and it is a super strong liquid glue. I use that pretty much for everything on this layout, and it is great glue. It dries clear. It's very, very sturdy. I have all of my products sitting right here on my desk, and I just know I'm going to say the wrong name for one of the products. So now what I'm doing is creating my little clothespins. I decided that I needed little clothespins to connect my bathing suits and my pictures to the clothesline. What I've done here, this was off camera, something that is super easy. I just added some tissue paper and some pink random pattern paper behind my pictures there, and I use my distress tool to just ruffle up the edges a little bit. And now I'm going to get back to designing. Now I know that I want the swimsuits right there, so I'm going to go ahead and use my liquid adhesive to glue those down. And I don't use anything to add dimension to my page. I feel like it's plenty dimensional. So I'm going to I'm going to cut these little clothespins, and all I did was take the Deco Foil liquid adhesive and just smudge little lines on the cardstock, let it dry, and then rub the foil over with my finger, just like I did earlier. And up close, these just look like little dash marks, but they look like little clothespins holding up the swimsuits. And I'm going to come back later on and make some bigger ones to hold the pictures. So I decided at this point of the layout that the bottom part was kind of empty and it needed something else. So that something else was some pink. So I went back into my stash of watercolors and did a little more packaging and smushing and splattering with some pink. And I think that was the perfect color to add. I think it just kind of evens everything out. And there is some pink in the photos, so I wanted to pull that out just a little bit. And with the main swimsuit in the middle being pink, I thought that the pink was perfect for the background. So I'm going to come back in with that mixed media adhesive and glue down all of those clouds. And I like how this is looking so far. I think the clothesline idea was fun. I was hoping it would turn out in my mind. And actually, you know what inspired me to do the clothesline was a cut file that I found in the Silhouette Cuts, or the Silhouette cut file store. I was browsing for swimsuits for this project, and I knew I wanted to incorporate swimsuits somehow onto the page, and I saw an actual cut file that looked like a little clothesline with swimsuits hanging on it, and I thought that would be a cute design idea. And so I found a couple of different swimsuit cut files that I liked and just sort of made my own clothesline there. I thought it turned out cute. And I'm just adding some thread here from my stash in the golden yellow, the lighter blue, and some of the green. And then I just go back and forth with adding splatters or adding paint if it needs it, because you know, sometimes when these colors dry, they dry lighter, and if you want it to be a little darker, just add some more. Alright, so this is the brand new Summer Days collection from Simple Stories, and it was really nice that Simple Stories sent this to the ThermOWeb designers. We got all the papers and the sticker sheet, and I thought it was perfect. So I'm going to use some of the stickers as embellishments here. And I love flamingos. Flamingos are all the rage right now, and I love them. I think they are the cutest element to add to a summer page. I'm going to add that pineapple, that little pinwheel. I didn't want to go too crazy. I wanted to kind of stick to the clothesline and just things around the photo, because I feel like my sky is pretty much done, and I still need to have room for a title and everything. So I'm just adding little stickers here and there. Little tab over on the right, that little yellow heart. And then I really thought this was pretty. I thought at first I may use this as my title, but I thought, where am I going to put it? I couldn't really find a spot for it. So I stick it right there for now. And I like it, but I just didn't love it. The more I look at it now, the more I do like it. A lot more, I think. But I like what I decide to do in the end. Now this really jumped out at me. This little cut apart piece. I'm going to fussy cut this out and use this up top, because I know I've said this before, but when I create a summer page, I like to have a sun on there somewhere. And so this was perfect. And I thought, do I want it on the side? Do I want it in the middle? And I decided to put it right there. And that kind of acts as the sunshine, but it also adds in a new color. It introduces that red. It's not a full-on red, but it's more of like a deep reddish pink in the hello part. And so I thought, do I really want to add this in because it's a new color? But it winds up looking okay. I do leave it, and I add some yellow thread under it and make sure everything's glued down. And then what I decide to do is add in a deeper reddish pink color down at the bottom to pull out the red from the hello. So I've got all shades of pink going on, and I like how that looks. I think it just kind of makes that area look a little richer down there at the bottom. And I am going to add that little flare button from my stash. I've had it for a while, and it's also that reddish color, and so I think that was a good addition. Now these are some Jelly Bean Soup alphas from my stash, and then these are some Freckle Fawn stickers. This is from a new Pebbles collection. I just got this, and so I decided to change out the light colored flamingo for this darker pink flamingo, and I'm going to add in a couple of these tropical hibiscus flowers just to add a little more pops of color. I just love all those colors. They're so bright and so fun. And I'm going to add in these two cloud stickers, and I love the addition of those at the top. I think it just adds more dimension and just gives a little variety. Another sticker. I use a gold metallic pen just to add a little bit of journaling. I didn't want to use black because I didn't really have any black going on in the layout. Here are my bigger what are they called? Clothespins. I just did the same thing. I used the Deco Foil and made a couple of lines, let it dry, and then I'm smudged my finger over with the champagne foil, and look how easy that was. And these are definitely homemade looking clothespins. but I think they're cute. And they look like they attach to the photos. I did add a strip of pattern paper and a couple more stickers down there at the bottom, and I also did a little bit of stitching, but there's the final layout. I tried to get the best photo I could so you could really see all that shiny foil. Look how pretty that is. I love the texture. It actually looks like fabric on a swimsuit. I just think I love how this turned out. It was so pretty. I love the foils. I hope you guys do too. I hope you give these a try. Give the transfer gel a try. Give the adhesive a try if you don't have a laminator. It's a lot of fun. Always get really pretty results. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. I know there's a lot of product going on. So let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.